give this little small presentation on this cannabis right here, because they like to say that cannabis is harmful. You know, you shouldn't be fucking with the cannabis. You a druggie and all of that stuff. You understand? And I appreciate their sentiments. But it doesn't mean anything to me. You know, when I know I'm dealing with ignorance, you understand what I'm saying? So for y'all stoners out there, those who, you know, are active with the cannabis and activists because of the cannabis, you know what they did to us because of the cannabis. Man, y'all burn one. Burn one while y'all watch this video. You know what I'm saying? Put on some good music or whatever. Or just listen to the video. You know what I mean? That's how I do. Alright, so we're going to go in right quick. This is going to be brief. I just want to let them know the benefits, because obviously they want to act like they're not smoking cannabis, but that's cool. You understand? Maybe they can't afford it. I can. Alright, medical marijuana. April 10th, 2020. It's a Harvard Health Publishing from the Harvard Medical School. Okay? So I'm going to just do this one. Right? Now it goes into, alright, CBD, uses of medical marijuana. Okay? Then you start going into the diseases. Right? Parkinson's disease. I can't even pronounce that. Interstitial cystitis. I don't know what that is. Okay. Marijuana is also used to manage nausea, weight loss, can be used to treat glaucoma, PTSD, okay, pain, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease. All right. You know, and there's a lot of different websites that they can check out and get just clued up on the benefits of cannabis, since they want to be so stupid. All right, so you can see there's a plethora of websites that deal with the benefits, information, and knowledge about medicinal marijuana. Now I shouldn't have to say this, because I know that gimmick Tar Kendall smokes. He used to smoke. Maybe he stopped to prove a point. Now he overdosing on terp and sulfur, but he used to smoke. So let's go into what I want to go into. Boom. Let it be remembered always. Libra. True peace kings. just had a discussion with Tanu Nabuhu Nupu. Who did I have a discussion with? And where was you at this day? About the nature of this particular group. So who you think made the phone call? Me or him? Okay? Asking me about my group. Okay, I showed you that. So don't you think that this nigga is the problem right here? See, right here, it's not a problem yet. It's about to be a problem. It's not even a problem yet, but it's about to be a problem. As the intro memo tells, this group will be for discussing and dealing with Noon in the positive. Now, I just showed you that it says the Ethiopian has a negative side and a positive side. So there got to be a way of dealing with Noon in the negative. That's when I said Zoom and Zuwapu. You feel what I'm saying? We have our battle groups where Nupu has shown the warrior side. By this statement here, I am telling, and I told Tanu that no matter what we were talking about in regards to Dr. York and Afro Unu, that wasn't going to play out in the group. That's what was agreed upon right there. It's right here, 2015. Okay? That's what I was talking about. And so he bucked that. And he did his thing. So what did he leave me to do? No choice but to ride on him. Because I gave him a warning right there. Okay? I gave him a panacea right there. He ain't taking. This will be the creative reasoning aspect of Nupu and Noon dealing with the best minds. Where were y'all at in this creativity right here? Where was y'all at in this creativity? Okay? This will be the creative reasoning aspect of Nupu and Noon dealing with the best minds. That was a challenge to everybody. Step your game up. You feel me? All y'all seen it. This group will remain closed and only open to Noonie Boos and those that adhere to Noon science in the positive. That's when I gave other Noonie Boos a chance to circulate within one group, right? Because nobody else did this. Me and Ethereum Black. So when I had a discussion with Tanu Nabuhu Nupu, who responded? It's right there. Who responded? You did, Tanu Net. Right? So going back to my question, when was I the aggressor? When was I being deceptive? And why don't you understand that your husband, like you say, why don't you understand that he is being checked by sound right reasoning? Okay? What you need to do is go back to origins.
All right, too many common peace in war times. So I put all of the evidence that needed to be presented first. And see, the problem you have is you can't go back farther than I can. And so in your group, it's only part of the story. 2015 is when I was in the group. And everything you saying is on point, except you didn't explain the why the beef or why I decided to get up out the group. I decided to get out the group because you was protecting the Nova, even though we already had Central Solution prior to that, where we was trying to hash at all this stuff. And 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 you see y'all, you try to paint me as a trouble starter, but I took care of this the way it's supposed to be taken care of. I took care of this. You wasn't even a part of it. It was only me, Tarnova, Nuntar, Ray Noon Ray, rest in peace, their wives, Arnova and his wife. All of us was privy, and my family was privy to what was going on. All right, we tried to handle this between each other, and Arnova would not respond in the way he should have responded, which was just to take responsibility. And it kept lingering on. He kept buck dancing and buck dancing and buck dancing. And I still had to end up coming to Facebook. And we talked about it amongst each other, but I still had to go public with it for the sake of protecting, to make a distinction so the government wouldn't hone in and put everybody under the radar. So that had to go public regardless. But the reason it stretched out into the format that it stretched out, where it just seemed like I was just on Arnova's back, that was because the rest of y'all kept giving him mercy and forgiveness. That's what you was doing. You gave him a place of refuge in your group, knowing you told me you never liked him because you felt he was too controlling. And so we talking about, I came back to Facebook in 2014. But if you look at the date on my video, what did it say? Rightness versus wrong is part 5. And I'm gonna play the videos way before, cause see your group got January, and you see you trying to you don't have all of the pieces. I do. So I'm gonna show where you became the aggressor and the beef. The beef extended from, in your mind and your corrupt brain, what you said on your other videos before this, that I only came back to Facebook because you opened up a nature reasoning book group. I had no knowledge of that and didn't care about that. I already told you why I came back, and that was partly to put online the safety of the present Noonie Boos and those who may come, because we didn't want the government. They was already doing this stuff with the NSA and spying and all this stuff like that. I was aware of these things, and I seen the mentality of what Arnova was doing, and mixing that sovereign movement in with some of the Moorish science type information and all this stuff, and lightly threatening the government, stuff like that. That's why that decision was made. It had nothing to do with you, because you such a narcissist and you insane. You really making yourself believe that everything we was doing had something to do with you, had nothing to do with you. And we set this up. This has been my story ever since I came back to Facebook and started making YouTube videos. This is why every time you keep trying to play this game of storytelling, you always tell lies. So I'm gonna let the facts speak for themselves in the video, so people can see that I've never said anything other than what I've been saying. See, you got a bunch of information that I put out. All these audios and stuff you playing, you already know where you got them from. I sent all this stuff to y'all. I have multitude of audios and documentation showing how I was trying to handle this thing with Arnova, with everybody behind the scenes. You was a Johnny come lately, and you was sitting there watching, and you once again tried to get involved and tell me I need to stop doing this deal, because you was a hater. You've been a hater. That's what happens when y'all follow failed saviors in the wrong cycle. So now you feel like you gotta find some way to put yourself in history. No, you trying to rewrite history in the minds of other people. You was around, but you was tagging along until you felt like you had enough. Like you said, you wasn't trying to be my friend. You was waiting on a time to find a way. You been plotting the whole time. When me and my peeps came back, we came back with prime directives to make it be known what was going on with Arnova, and to split us from that crap he was doing that would have got everybody targeted. In the midst of that, we started seeing that the Wapians, because of you was mixing a group, call it the Nature Reason E, when there's no such thing of what the Wapians was doing was mixing information. Same way you was in your video claiming I'm mixing stuff, everybody was doing that. Everybody, including you up to date. You still saying, oh, he was sitting here mixing it. Well, this is what you was doing. You sitting here telling people they need to mix, they need to read the nature books with the Wapu. You still doing the same thing because you're a weed head and a drug addicted liar. And so we're gonna let the videos play so people can see that this is almost what, January, February, March, April, May. This video was made 8 months prior to being in your group. And it all had to do with Noon. Because you wasn't doing your part. And watch how the receipts, which you already seen, is gonna show that you was a liar. You would never find that I'd started anything with you. Everything came from me getting out of Nova and going at Dr. York's false information. That's where you try to come in at and paint yourself like you the victim. But the reality is you the aggressor, and you try to grab other people's information because you ain't nothing but a chicken head clucker. That's all you do. You the running around gossiping, trying to pull information from other people, but you the bum, you the nobody, you the deadbeat dad who had a deadbeat dad father who's dead, and you mentally dead. Look how that look. You ain't did nothing with your life. He ain't do nothing with his life. And you sitting here running around a carbon copy of a clown that left you. Maybe he had enough insight to know you wasn't gonna be nothing, so he ain't gonna stick around. So that's how that goes. This is what you did with yourself. Nigga, we're almost 50 years old, following somebody online, trying to Captain Save a damn pedophile, and you sound like a damn fool. You look like a fool, and you trying to mix Noon and the Wapu, and you want to praise York and disrespect Afro Unu. And you think we gonna stand for that? Not at all. We not finna lay down for none of this crap that you've been pulling all the way since 2014. You keep poking and poking and poking. All I'm gonna do is pull out the receipts. You will never get none before 2014 because my story is my story, not your story. You can't rewrite history. But just like York tell the same story 5 to 10 different ways, y'all got the same mind state and spirit. All y'all like that. You, Prince York, all of y'all try to rewrite history and end up being exposed. So let's get into the video so people can see how much of a liar you are and how much truth I tell. True men to call in peace in wartime.
That boy too wide is something else. That boy too wide is something else. That boy too wide is something else. That boy too wide is something else.
From the information, there's a clear, concise timeline. And this debunks all the lies that he talking about. He was on noon, he had the information. You did not have the books until after I gave you the link to hit up Galaxy 9 or Psi 9, and she gave you the books around 2009.
I got my books in 2009, and I was sent this. Okay, so I don't know. He passed away in 2007. That's interesting because Afro Unu passed away in 2011. So that means there could be some type of connection. And listening to the voice of Nubi Ripu, right? Sounds like he's an American. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know the journeys of this brother. I just know I got my books. Okay, so if he passed away in 2007, he already had the audio done. Okay, he already had the audio done. So we know it's not Afro Unu because he said he was the chief representative of Afro Unu. So Tarkenu, can you put us up, since you're the commissioner of Nupu, can you let us know who the elder Anupta was, his relationship to Afro Unu, if they possibly met? Do you know if Anupta is familiar with Dr. Malachi Z. York? Can you tie this all up for us, since you got all that 9 science and 9 knowledge? Let me know how I got my book from over there. You know what I'm saying?
And you disappeared for a year, and then you came back online about 2010. So if you had the books, you would have knew what you're supposed to have been doing. And again, the reason why everybody was making these mistakes because the turpentine and the sulfur wasn't been taken. This is why I went through this transition I went through from 2010 or 11 when I went through my transition of going through the wind makers and the destiny and all that, because the turpentine and the sulfur would have interfered in that. The same way you wasn't taking it and your spirit had you taking the paint thinner instead of the rectified turpentine. And I gave you the information and you still went against it. So everybody can see that this is nothing but demonology still keeping you running around almost 50 years old like a fool, and you dragging a Nova back into it, you dragging Ethereum back into it, because you bringing these people name up in your latest video because you got this fake beef. Nigga, I don't know you. I keep telling you that. But you a sick Negro. This is what mentally dead people do. So now you got Kepler name back into it, and you're going to keep going until nature takes your life. Because you have proven that you don't give a damn what you say, who you talking about, living or dead, and you think it's no consequence. See, the spirit being is eternal. It's indestructible unless the orb that's projecting it does something to the spirit. You being used like a rental car, and you so dumb, you keep going against everything you've been doing. And what this video is showing, that I've always given you sound right reason when it came to the information, and you still did what you wanted to do. So keep it up, and more receipts are gonna come. So everybody's seeing that you've been at this crap since 2014, and this is why you and Kepler and Ethereum got threw up in a video, because y'all was taking Afro Unu's information and y'all was mixing it, and y'all was fighting me, because then I realized just off the information that something was not right. And I had been doing this, writing York since 2010, challenging him about certain things that was not being adding up with the Potter and the actual facts. And from that point on, I started seeing something was wrong with the information way before it got to the Afro Unu thing, as far as clearing things up. And once 2014 hit, we got the information from Royal Rest in Peace, who gave us Afro Unu's wife information. We contacted with her, boom, 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 everything fell in place. So we've been on the same mission since 2014. You will never be to show nothing different. Only one who we shown who switched up was you. You was with York, you switched over, start kicking the right information, then you switched back, and you've been a hater and a slanderer and a gossiper at best. But everybody don't understand, and this is what I tried to tell you in that Damage Control first audio. Y'all do not understand the spirituality part of Noon, the programmers and controllers. I look at all of that. Always looked at that. And this is why everybody who was around me who's not now, they all got spiritually compromised. And they too ignorant to see it. I've been on the same trail ever since 2014. Everybody who like me or not, who been paying attention, can verify and vouch for that. So all you doing is exposing yourself like the dumb Negro you always been. Because you are possessed and being used by the spirit guard to try to stop Noon from spreading, which is through us. Because nobody else is doing anything on the main line because they got their own agenda. This is why everybody we started out with a bunch of people that nowhere to be found. And they don't realize they done got tripped up and clipped up. And now they sitting there looking crazy. And all y'all fools been scapegoating Tarkinu all these years. And I did not understand how bad it was to Kwipu did the video. Thanks to you putting out that private conversation between Noosa and Kepra, the picture and puzzle would have never came all the way clear. So all y'all gonna suffer for doing that. Because that's another reason why Nupu keeps keeping me in the game, because all of y'all was playing dirty behind the scenes. How y'all gonna blame me for Mansauer's nasty behavior? That's incredible. But now it comes out that Sinai was the one who was doing some underhanded stuff. So whoever hit her up and told her she wasn't a Nunubu and she wasn't doing da-da-da-da, hopefully that was somebody who knew the game and exposed her. And she stopped selling the books, because it's obviously obvious that it was more filthy business going on than we thought. So York went on making money off of it. It was also her doing it too, and that's probably why I ended up dying from cancer, because they was doing filthy business. Y'all keep thinking that nature is a joke, and y'all think that something gonna happen to you via another person. Sometimes nature hits you with diseases. It's all types of things that nature does. But you just keep it up, Mr. Mentally Dead. Your time is really short, because all you've been is a filthy slanderer based upon nothing that has nothing to do with you. That's how I know something is insane. You run around here with Kyrie stories, and you listening to his whore mother who got lupus, and she don't understand why she got lupus. Lupus attacks the body and the legs and the muscles. That's because she was using her body as a whore. That's why she got lupus. See, y'all don't understand how nature works. That's why she did all that filthiness before Noon even came, even before she got Dr. York books, was a whore. Laying on her back. Now it's hard for her to get off her back. That's how nature works. And you keep it up. All you doing is killing your brain cells and your lungs. And you think that thing is a joke, trying to justify smoking weed when the books that tells you don't do it, and you trying to say medicinal reasons. You ain't never once proved medicinal, and neither of you was able to come up with a medicinal card. That had to be something you came up with later just to justify smoking weed, because you a bum, you stressed, and you've been traumatized by your father leaving you, so that's why you sitting there like a bum. Everything about you, you still a street nigga from Cali, and you ain't changed a bit. You just memorize some information, and you just can't get nothing out of it to get paid to pimp the information. You're not a teacher of noon science. You're a horrible example setter. And anybody that's around watching you that have any respect for the information should be very, very upset with you, because you are literally doing drugs online and allowing people to see that and think that it's okay, when your teacher and the nature books, 9 Science, told you don't smoke drugs, dope, marijuana, period. All right, but you don't want to use non-science because non-science tells you don't fool with that. It only tells you to only get with a doctor if things get to that point. But it's clear you've been smoking weed way longer than what you telling people. So the truth is out. You a liar. You possessed by Osirus, aka backers. This is nothing new. And you keep it up, you're just gonna keep getting served these hardcore facts. 2 minute calm, peace, and wartime.